Oh, this tea is good. This tea is so good. Hey boos, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, thank you for tuning in. Before we even get into the video and the introduction and all that, make sure you subscribe. Just click the subscribe button. It takes like 0.2 seconds. You know you're gonna come back next Sunday for next Sunday's video because you know I post every single Sunday. So just do yourself a favor, click subscribe, make it easier for yourself. It's a win-win situation, you know what I mean? Today's video is going to be about the time that I got scammed by a startup company. So if you watched my previous video about me quitting my job, I mentioned it briefly and I said that I was gonna just do a separate video on it. So I got hired, kind of. I'll tell that story in another video because this is that video. Let's rewind back to August of last year, 2018. So my birthday is August 31st, so I usually celebrate Labor Day weekend just because that's how it falls. I got an email from Eventbrite about a party. It was like a Labor Day party and it looked lit. Like it was like a mansion pool party, day party situation. It was gonna have all kinds of catering, DJs, poolside cabanas. It just seemed very lavish, very lit, something that I wanted to do for my birthday. So I was like, okay, this is the move, like let's do this. So I told my boyfriend, I told my friends, we set it all up and I decided I was gonna pay for a poolside cabana. So the cabana was $200. So I was like, okay, that's not that bad because you know, if you're trying to get a table or a section or a cabana or anything at a party, you know it's usually way more than that. So I was like, okay, that's a pretty good deal. I paid for that, everything was set, cool. So maybe like a week or two later after I made the purchase, I got an email from PayPal saying your $200 has been refunded. And I was like, refunded? What, like, what's going on? Because I didn't get an email or anything saying that the party was canceled. I didn't hear anything. I just got this email from PayPal saying that I was getting a refund. So I look at my receipt and I see if there's an email or like customer service, a phone number or something that I can call the promoter or whoever's putting on the party to see what's going on. So I sent an email, didn't hear anything back for a while, so then I just decided to text the number that was provided on the receipt. I text the number and the person I'm talking to actually ends up being the CEO. Let's call him Chris. And I tell him, you know, I just got this email saying that my $200 for the cabana is refunded, like what's going on? He was like, oh, I'm so sorry due to unforeseen circumstances. Now, before we even go any further, you know, when an event or promoter or something says unforeseen circumstances, you know it's gonna be some bull. So anyway, he was like, due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to cancel the party, so we're issuing everyone's refunds now. It should take X amount of days to get to you. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate, but okay, as long as I get my $200 back, because it's $200, not two, so I need my money back. I wait about a week and a half, because he told me it wasn't gonna take that long. So at this point, at like the week and a half mark, I was like, okay, my money should be in there by now, and it's not. So I text him again, and I'm like, what's good with the money? Stupid fruit fly, there's always fruit flies in here. That's the one thing about eating a lot of fruit that's so annoying. We always have fruit flies. What was I talking about? Oh, this tea is good. This tea is so good. So anyway, I text him. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. The money should have been in there already. It wasn't. So he was like, give it X amount of days and it should be in there. Okay, then I wait like another week. Still nothing. At this point, I was just gonna send a claim to PayPal because I was like, you're playing games and I need my money. So I was gonna set up a claim. But then I got a phone call. I normally never answer numbers that I don't know because it always ends up being like a telemarketer or something. But I was like, let me answer it because it's an LA number and this is probably about my money. So I answered it and it was Chris. So he was like, I just wanted to personally give you a call because I know this has been such a mess. Basically what happened with the party and why we had to cancel is because our account, the company account, got hacked and they took all the funds for the party, which as I'm thinking about that now, I'm like, that sounds so insane. Like, how? But I was like, okay, you know, it happens. There are people who can hack into accounts and it's not that unheard of. So I was like, okay, like that sucks. Obviously, you couldn't have foreseen that. So I understand. And I was like, but at the same time, I still don't have my money. So like, what's good? Because I don't want to have to like file a claim, but I will because I need my money back. And he was like, I promise you, you will have your money in X amount of business days, I promise. And if it doesn't get in your account by this date, I will personally give you the $200 out of my bank account. I was like, wonderful, whatever. At the end of the conversation, he was like, also, you know, just putting it out there, I don't know if you're interested or if you know someone who's interested, but my company, you know, it is a pretty new company. It's kind of a startup, and I'm looking to hire new people. So if you're interested or know someone who's interested, I would love to, you know, get a resume. We can set up interviews and stuff like that. And I was like, actually, I'm interested, because at this point, this was in September. So at that point, I had already decided that I was gonna quit my job at the spa, and I was actively looking for other positions. So I was like, oh my gosh, God is just sending me a position. It's right here in my face, right? So I was like, yeah, like I'd actually be interested. So we were kind of chatting, seeing, you know, what the company needed, how I could fit. And I was like, I could definitely do event coordinating if you need that. I've done small scale and large scale events. So if you have a need for that, I'm down. So he was like, cool, let's set up an interview. We set up an interview for like the next week. Everything was cool. I met him. He was a very professional gentleman. Everything was fine. So I was like, dope. The interview went really well, and he basically hired me on the spot. So at this point, I'm super excited because I can't remember if I had already put my 2 weeks in at the spa or if I was just about to, but I was like, this timing is amazing because now I can put in my 2 weeks, I can quit, and I have a new job to start. During the interview, when he was telling me about the company seemed, I mean, to be such a young company, because it's only about 2 years old, it seemed to be very successful. And he was telling me how they had, you know, sponsorships from Ciroc and all these major labels. They did an event at Coachella. Like, it seemed like some big time stuff. So I was like, this is what I want to be a part of. This is great. And I just thought that supporting a startup company would be really dope too, because you know, I'm all for entrepreneurs and starting new businesses. And when a business is new, I understand, like, you got to give it some time and you got to give things a chance. You can't start off having an Amazon, you know what I mean? Like, you have to start off small and, you know, give people a chance. Let's fast forward to October, like mid-October, let's say, after I quit my job at the spa. Me and Chris have a meeting. We're basically just laying out my job responsibilities, what I'm gonna be in charge of, what I'm gonna need to do, all that. And he was telling me, okay, we have a holiday party coming up in December. That's gonna be the first event that I need you to coordinate. I was like, amazing, I'm so excited, you got it. Then after that, we were supposed to meet at a venue to do like a walkthrough and see if we were gonna choose it for the holiday party. So I get to the venue and I'm actually running a little bit late. I was maybe like 5-10 minutes late. So I call him, let him know I'm there. He's gonna say, oh, wait, what's today? And I was like, it's whatever day, like I'm at the venue. He was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. Oh my gosh, okay. And he's like scrambling, trying to figure out like when we can meet. And I was like, no problem, it's fine, like I understand. After that happened, he texted me and he was saying that he wanted to have a meeting with me and another girl who was gonna be coming on the team, kind of doing the event coordinating stuff with me, I guess. He was like, let's meet Monday at 2 o'clock. At this point, this was like in November, like early November before Thanksgiving. Okay, so some of you know that since I quit my job at the spa, I've been doing like extra and background work for TV shows, which is really fun, but sometimes you're on set for a really long time. So on that Sunday night before the meeting, I had a show that I was doing from 9 p.m. until like 3 a.m. And then I had to turn right back around and go to another show at 6 a.m. So that night I only had about 2 hours of sleep, if that. So when I get back home from the Monday morning show, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap. Let me set my alarm so I can get up and go to this meeting. And then when I'm done with the meeting, I can just go to sleep again. So what I did was, you know, when you set your alarm and you put the wrong AM or PM, well, my alarm should have been set for PM, but it was set for AM on accident, so it never went off. So I slept through the entire meeting. The meeting was supposed to start at 2. I woke up at like 4:15. So I jumped up out of bed. I was like, oh my gosh, he was probably blowing up my phone. He texted me and he was like, hey, I was just, you know, seeing where you were at, and I was at like 2:15. So I texted him back and I was like, I am so sorry. I explained the whole situation about the shows, my alarm not going off, all that. And he seemed to be pretty understanding. He was like, no problem, it happens. Just make sure that you come to the next meeting because we really have to start, you know, promoting the party, picking a venue, getting tickets, all that. I was like, no problem, I understand. I will be there for sure. And just let me know when you want to meet again. Okay, like I said, that was like beginning to mid-November. Today is March 3rd, 2019. I still to this day have not heard a single word from Chris about anything, about the event, about my job, my position, about the company, nothing. Normally, if I hadn't heard anything after, you know, maybe a week or so, I probably would have texted or emailed or something. But the reason why I didn't is because technically I was never employed by him. Here's why. When I did my interview, he said, okay, I'm gonna draft up your paperwork so that you can officially be an employee. We're gonna get you on payroll, all that, right? Like that's what you do when you have a business and you're gonna pay people, you have to put them on your payroll. So that happened in my interview in September. The whole time that we were talking after that, when I got hired, he kept saying, I'm gonna send you the paperwork, I'm gonna send you the paperwork, I'm gonna email it, it's almost done, I'm just finishing it. He never sent me the paperwork, never. To this day, I have not received paperwork to be on the company's payroll or anything. And when I think about it, I was like, that should have been handled at the very beginning when I got hired, because you want me to have meetings and come drive to all these venues and stuff. That's money. That's my time. I need to get paid for that, is what I'm saying. Luckily, I only had like 2 meetings with him, but I'm just saying, technically, I should have been getting paid for those meetings, like if we're being technical. That's pretty much what happened. So moral of the story is, when you see red flags the first time, don't ignore them, because honestly, with the whole $200 refund fiasco, I shouldn't have even had any interest in wanting to work for this man, right? Because that was just a hot mess. And it took me so long to get my money back. I did get the money back, by the way. I definitely got my money back. Hello. That was like red flag number 1. Then red flag number 2 was like when he forgot about our meeting to go look at the venue. Like, you know, if you're a CEO or you're a boss, there's just certain things that you need to be on top of. My paperwork, like that should have been handled immediately. You know, like I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I'm like, okay, he's the CEO of this company. It's a fairly brand new company. It's only him and like 2 other employees. I get it. Like, you're a startup, you need assistance, you're trying to get everything off the ground. I get it. So I was trying to be patient, but it's like, even when you're a startup company, there's a certain level of professionalism that you need to have. And he just didn't have it. I don't know what's going on with the company today. I have no idea. I checked the company's Instagram just to be nosy, and it looked like the holiday party never ended up happening. So I don't know what fell through. I don't know if he had like investor issues, or I don't know. I really don't know what happened. But honestly, I thank God, because I feel like I dodged a bullet, and I feel like if I would have given any more effort and time into the company, I would have ended up just being pissed off, because I probably wasn't going to get paid, or I wasn't going to get paid in a very timely manner. And it just would have been ugly. So it's like, you know, even now, like, I'm not mad at him or anything like that. I mean, I do feel like his professionalism is lacking, but I'm not upset. It's just, it kind of opened my eyes to certain things on the business side. So that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like I said at the beginning of the video. And you know I post videos every single Sunday, so look out for that. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Cheers.